Hi there. A little over a year ago, I started this little video adventure. I had no idea where it was going to go. I thought, hey, maybe if I produce a few videos, some people might get some use from them. So I sort of rummaged around in my head and said, okay, what in here might be of use to somebody else? Coming up with a few topics, I started my videos. Well, it turns out that was 47 videos ago. This will be number 48 if I haven't already stuck something in between. I have 44 numbered videos plus 3 that I just called extras because they didn't really necessarily fit with what I had been doing up to that point. So I guess now I'm a YouTuber. Now, what to talk about? Well, I've talked about many things. Many of the topics I've talked about have dealt with the fact that although I like to think of myself as a photographer, I think unfortunately I probably fit more in the category of gear junkie. As a result, I don't do as much as I should. Now, what does that mean? That means that I've now started carrying this with me all the time. Now you've seen this before. I show this camera a lot. It's not necessarily my favorite camera, but it's nice to look at. It's a very handsome little camera. It's little. That's the big key. I stick this in a book bag, a backpack actually. Nice one that my son gave me once. And now that I'm supply teaching, I'm often driving out of town. I have the camera with me. If I see something interesting, I take a picture of it. By doing that, I'm sort of training myself to look at things more. And that's what it all comes down to. I saw a presentation once by a photographer who explained every image that she had. And when I looked at the images, I knew why. Now, this person had, credentials. They were recognized as a legitimate, funny word to use, I know, but they were legitimately an artist. However, I found it a little disconcerting that the images didn't say anything to me unless they were explained. I watched a Sam Abel video. He was a National Geographic photographer in which he explained one of his famous images of cowboys working with cattle and horses. It's a very busy image. There's a lot going on in the image. And he explains exactly what's in there, but the explanation wasn't necessary. There was a story right there in that image. You look at that image, you saw that story right away. I haven't always gotten the images of Henri Cartier-Bresson. Some of them kind of leave me scratching my head. However, what I can say is that very few of them need any explanation. And in fact, I can't think of any that I've seen that need explanation. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't explain your pictures. But what it does mean is that if you must explain it, if the only way the person gets it is after you've spoken to them for 5 minutes, they start nodding your head saying, oh yeah, I think you've missed it. I really do. I think the only way that an image can stand on its own is if it does just that, stands on its own. And if the explanation is just icing on the cake. When I look at Henri Cartier-Bresson's image of the boy with the 2 magnums of wine and the very proud look on his face, I get it. That comes across right away. When I see the image of the 2 guys standing next to the fence that obviously they've been peeping through, and you get that. There's a story there right away. Some of Elliot Erwitt's pictures of tiny little dogs running around by the ankles of well-dressed ladies on a street. There's a humor and there's a story right there. It doesn't need any explanation. And guys, that's what we need to do. We need to get out there and take pictures that don't need explanation. Now, sometimes we just need to take pretty pictures. Sometimes a landscape or a still life or a macro shot you just want something pretty. You want it to look good. And that's valid as well. But like I said, if it needs an explanation, if it cannot exist, if it will be overlooked without an explanation, then to me, that image hasn't succeeded in what it was possibly thought it would do. Now, how many of my images fit in that category? Very, very few. I admit that. And that's something I have to work on. And that's why this is coming with me most of the time. My SLR will do a better job, but it's big and heavy and somewhat obtrusive. It will be noticed more. I want to keep things simple so that it's not really noticed. Anyhow, this hasn't been much of a video, I understand that. I'm not celebrating the fact that I've been around at this now for over a year, but it is kind of nice to know that there are still a few people out there who are watching. And to you, I say thank you very much. Hopefully in the future I will manage to fulfill some of the sense of promise that I may have instilled over the last year. Hopefully I do. Anyhow, if you enjoyed this or any of my other videos, by all means, please click like. And of course, if you want to see more videos, whether they're rambling on like this or giving you detailed information, then click subscribe. And, well, hey, if you want to introduce me to somebody else, click share. Thank you very much, and bye for now.